All right. I'm going to take a minute tonight and go over some things for people that are going to the track for the first time. Or if it's not your first time, maybe you'll learn something as well. That's what we're always doing in this sport is trying to learn. So um, the first thing I'm going to tell you about going to the drag strip for the first time is if you see somebody that looks like they know what they're doing, or somebody that frequents the racetrack, do not hesitate to ask questions. 98% of the racing community are really great people, and they will not hesitate to help you out. The first two things that we are going to cover are more etiquette things than anything. This is trying to look out for everybody else that's coming out as well to have a good time. So the first one is going to be running your air conditioning in the staging lanes. So part of that process is that water gets expelled from your vehicle when you're running your air conditioning. You can see where this could cause a problem. If you drip that going down the track, you're creating wet spots and hurting traction for everybody there, including yourself. So it's a really good idea to not run your air conditioning. The second one being if you're going out to like our local street fights here, everything is welcome to come out minivans, lifted trucks, you know, 1948 team model. It doesn't matter what you have, you are welcome. I think it's a great thing. It helps keep people interested and helps fund the track. Um, I think the only thing that a lot of people have in common that is slightly annoying is if you went mudding that day, if you could run your truck through a car wash and at least get most of the mud off of it, that would be great. Um, we have a lot of motorcycles that run up here too, so trying to take off in mud is just not something that um, anybody should really have to deal with. But hey, you paid your money. They didn't tell you you couldn't do it, so more power to you. So when you pull up to um, the staging lanes, there is typically going to be a staff worker from the track that will let you know when it is safe to enter the track. So we will wait here until this gentleman lets us know that it's okay to move forward. And right here is where our first decision comes into play, and that is whether to do a burnout or not. So if you're on a drag radial or a slick tire car, you're definitely going to do a burnout. If you are on a street tire, you paid your money. I understand if you want to let some tire smoke flow, but I will let you know that it is probably not going to help your traction. Those tires are not meant to be spun like that, and typically they will get slick and greasy if you do a burnout. So it is actually going to hurt your elapsed time if you do one. But there again, you paid your money. Um, do what you want. So another thing too, if you are running standard tires on your vehicle and you want to back into the water box, or if you have something like that, that will trap less water. The grooves in those tires are meant to shed water, but they will also trap some water when you run through the burnout box. So you will be flinging that into your wheel wells and dragging it up through the staging lanes with you. So decide if you're going to do a burnout or not, and then once again, there should be somebody from the track there ready to help you out. So we're going to come right here, and I will pause this one. We will move on to this one. So this gentleman is going to let us know when we are through the water box and when we are in a spot to do our burnout. So right here, you'll see he even tells me to nudge it over because I've come in just a little bit crooked. And then he's going to let me know with this hand gesture right here, good to do my burnout. So we're going to do a burnout. Let's get that part taken care of. So I'm on a drag radial, so we do a little quick 3-second burnout here. And then this is the part where first timers get a little tripped up. You're going to be anxious. You're going to be nervous. Everybody is on their first pass. That is perfectly fine. You are not alone. If you look in the center of the two lanes, right where those two yellow barrier posts are, you will see this black box. That black box is part of the timing system. So as we creep up on this, that's when we can start slowing down how fast we're moving. So we're going to move in kind of quick. I'll pause this video here. Now, if you look closely, you will see 3 holes. The first hole is going to light the first bulb on the tree, also known as the pre-stage bulb. The second one is going to light our second bulb below that, known as the stage bulb. Now, um, typically, if you go to an event where you're actually going to be racing and not just doing like a test and tune or something like, this kind of like bragging rights thing, they're going to ask you to do what's called courtesy staging. Now, what that means is we're going to say, for instance, we roll in and light that first bulb first. We are going to stop there and we are not going to move forward until our opponent lights their first bulb. And then whichever one stages next, and so on and so forth, until we get all four of those top bulbs lit. Now, here is a big thing to consider when it is your first time at the track. If you are nervous, that there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing says when that green light comes on that you have to leave immediately. If you look beside you and you are concerned with the person in the car next to you or their vehicle and you are not trying to get your stuff wadded up, sit there for a few seconds, let them get a head start, and then take off. And that way you are more in control of what's going to happen on your pass. I do this quite often just because when you are testing, your reaction time has nothing to do with the elapsed time. You can sit there for 5, 6, 7 seconds, and your time will not be any longer. So, if you feel that necessary, hold up for just a minute and let the other guy go, and then go when you feel like you are ready. So, on these nights like this, like I said, the courtesy staging thing, a lot of people, when it's their first time to the track, don't know that. So, sometimes you'll get double bulbed. Not that big of a deal, as long as you are, that could be a thing. So, we're going to pause this right here. I'm going to try to get that. So, yeah, both lights on, no big deal. I would rather somebody double bulb me with me being a turbo car and, I'm trying to test and stuff. Hey, that gives me all the time that I need to stage. So I don't mind that one bit. So now we are going to come in and we are going to stage our car. So this would be like where we would consider courtesy staging if we had both lit our top bulbs and he rolled in. If you are racing at an event, typically auto start is going to be on this tree. Now what that means is once this tree has 3 of the 4 bulbs lit, you have 7 seconds to roll in and light your other bulb, or you are going to get a red light and get a disqualification. There again, on testing nights, that's typically not a thing. So if it's your first time, you're probably at a place where it doesn't matter. So once again, nice, calm, cool, collected as you can be. And then when this green light comes on, we're not worried about it. If we want to give the guy a head start, go right ahead. So, most of the testing stuff that you're probably going to be doing at events like these is going to be what's called a sportsman tree, which is exactly what you're getting ready to see. Once all 4 bulbs are lit, the guy who runs the tree will click a button and there will be 3 amber lights and they will go 1, 2, 3, and then we will get a green light. Certain events will use a pro tree where all 3 ambers are going to turn on at one time and then it's going to go green. So, depending on the event, typically they will let you know. But if you're going to something like this, it's always going to be um, a sportsman tree. So, here we go. And we're getting ready to make our pass. Now, I'm going to pause here and I'm going to say something that a lot of people, I don't think they really think about. And that is stuff does happen at the drag strip. It is unfortunate. Nobody likes to see it. But there again, look beside you, decide what you want to do with the car beside you if you want to give them a head start. Because unfortunately, accidents do happen. People do cross lanes and do hit other cars. And your insurance is not going to cover this. So uh, it's unfortunate. I've tried to even have the talk with myself that if somebody comes in my lane and hits me, if I leave beside them, I made the decision to leave beside them and I have to accept the consequences of what happens with that. So here we go. We're getting ready to take the green light. So the green is going to drop here and we're going to take off. Now, nothing wrong with this pass. It's nice and straight. Now, if at any point in time that you are going down the track. If something looks off, if you hear a terrible noise, if you all of a sudden lose power, anything like that, always try to pull over to the wall as quick as possible. Don't do anything to get yourself hurt, especially if your car is leaking fluid. Just try to slow down the best you can and ease over. This will um, lessen the cleanup time for the crew at the track and everybody else waiting to go. So, there again, just scoot over as soon as you feel like it is safe to. So, now we have completed our pass and we're going to get on the brakes and start slowing the car down. This is going to lead us to the last portion of making our pass, and that is exiting the track. Depending on what track you're at, sometimes they will tell you which side is to exit first, but I have been to a lot where they don't tell you. And pretty much everywhere I have ever been that they have said something, it is going to be whichever lane the exit is on. So here at Bristol, it is on the right hand side of the track. So the lane that I'm in, the right hand side, goes first. The reason for that is because if we were in the left lane, we don't know if the person in the right lane has brakes or if something has gone bad in their vehicle or anything like that. And the last thing you want to do is cut across the exit of the track and get T boned. So, um, typically on nights like this, I will look in the mirrors, and if I see, that they're still crossing the stripe and I'm at the end ready to exit, sometimes I will go ahead and exit instead of just, causing extra congestion down there. But it is a good rule of thumb, especially if you're really close to each other or they're just a little bit behind. Even if you need to come to a stop, just come to a stop, let the other car exit, and then you can exit the track. And that's really all there is to it. Um, like I said, everybody is there to have fun. So don't hesitate to ask anybody any questions that you may have or anything that I didn't go over. Comment on this video. Let me know if you have any questions that I didn't answer. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like. And yeah, go out there, go drag racing, have some fun. And we will see you all on the next one.